paralyzes and keeps us from doing the things we want to do or living the life we want to live. The most common fears are the fear of what others think of us and the fear of not being good enough. And oh boy, how I had both those fears, even recently when setting up my online business. But as you can see, I conquered them because my biz is online and I am doing this video. Alright, we all need to have a little bit of fear, of course, to know right from wrong. But often it comes to a point that we let our fears take over and we don't find the power to fight against them. Fear pops up from the moment we change, and we change all the time throughout our life. But the good news is that all our fears start in our head. And most of the time we imagine the outcomes to be much worse than they really are. Yes, I said imagine. Because if you think about it, you cannot touch fear or put it literally in front of me. It's something you made up in your head. As we always think that the outcome of our fears are going to be disastrous, we don't take action towards achieving our goals or living the life we want to live. Because God forbid that fear might come true. Now, the thing is, 90% of the time our fears don't come true at all. And if they come true, the consequences are not as big as we imagine them to be. Getting rid of our fears, or at least controlling them, is a must to live a happy and goal-achieving life, as it brings you freedom and gives you energy to focus on creating the life you want to live. So how do we get rid of our fears, or at least control them? Well, you have to ask yourself the following questions first. What is the worst thing that could happen when your fears come true? And how would you deal with them if they happen? Think about it very carefully. Imagine your worst fear comes true. What is the worst thing that can happen? Let me give you an example. If I ask you to lay down on the street in a crowded place only for 30 seconds, would you do it? Probably not, because straight away this fear comes in our head of what others would think of us. No, I would feel so ashamed. I'm not going to do that, you crazy. Or you can also be that 1% that says, sure, where do you want me to lay down exactly? In that case, you can just skip this video and move on. Okay, so back to the no-wayers. Why wouldn't you do it? What's the worst thing that could happen and how would you handle it? Probably the worst thing that would happen is people staring at you, or people being confused about your behavior, or people coming up to you asking if you are okay, or the police arriving and asking you to move. And if any of these things would happen, you would handle it by simply explaining to them the point of this challenge and by apologizing for the inconvenience that it caused them. That's it probably, no? That's not so bad, isn't it? You see, your own mind is tricking you into fear, and then this fear keeps you from taking action. It's all not as bad as you imagine it to be when your fears come true, and most of the time, they even never come true. And this is also the same with all your other fears. Now that you 1. Establish the worst thing that could happen when your fears come true. 2. How you would handle them if they come true. And 3. Have the realization that the outcomes won't be as bad as you imagine them to be in your head. You need to conquer your fears. If the fear is a fear that you can conquer right now, for example, claustrophobia, fear of small spaces, you have to take action ASAP to conquer that fear. Go to a therapist or someone or anything else that can help you to get rid of this fear. But if your fear didn't happen yet, make an action plan for when that fear comes true. Write it all down and then leave it. Don't think about it any longer. Your action plan is there to use when the fear becomes a reality. Don't worry about it anymore. You can relax now because you only need to deal with it when it actually happens. You know, battling your fears is the only war allowed, so you need to be prepared to fight when your fears come true. But remember this, chances are that you will never even need to go to war and fight. Yeah? If you like this video, hit the like button and share it with your friends or anyone else that can benefit from this. Also, grab my free e-guide 7 steps in the process of achieving your goals on my website maithaswayoflife.com. I created this free fillable e-guide especially for you to achieve any goal you have in only 7 steps. Have an amazing Monday!